There was a young man living in the heart of America, a man who felt the weight of life pressing against his chest every single day. He woke up with the same thoughts, the same fears, the same routines and the same excuses. He woke up thinking maybe one day things will change, maybe one day life will give me a break, maybe one day something magical will happen, but deep down he knew the truth: nothing was going to change unless he changed himself, and that truth scared him, but it also opened a door inside him, a door that had been waiting for years, waiting for him to knock, waiting for him to step through, waiting for him to claim the life he was born to live. This young man spent his days working in an office, answering calls, replying to emails, watching the clock, watching the minutes move slowly as if time itself was teasing him, reminding him that life was passing and he was not moving, he was not growing, he was not becoming the man he dreamed of being. And every night he sat alone thinking, maybe this is it, maybe this is all life has for me, maybe this small life, this quiet life, this safe life is my destiny. But life has a way of waking you up, life has a way of pushing you, life has a way of giving you a moment, a spark, a fire. And one night that moment came. He was scrolling through videos looking for something, anything to numb the feeling inside him, when he stumbled across a voice, a powerful voice, a voice that felt like thunder tearing through the screen. It was Tony Robbins, and Tony said a quote that hit the young man straight in the heart: the only thing that is keeping you from getting what you want is the story you keep telling yourself. Those words did not just touch him, they shook him, they broke the walls around him, they exposed every excuse, every fear, every limitation he had placed on himself. The young man paused, replayed the quote and listened again. The only thing that is keeping you from getting what you want is the story you keep telling yourself. He realized he had been telling himself a story for years, a story of not enough, a story of fear, a story of waiting, a story of someday. He had been living inside the prison of his own thoughts, and Tony's words were the key that unlocked the door. That night he made a decision, a small decision, but one that carried the power to change everything. He decided that tomorrow morning he would wake up with a different story, he would wake up with a new belief, he would wake up with purpose. He went to sleep with a fire in his chest, a feeling he had not felt in years, and when morning came he kept his promise. He stood in front of the mirror and he said the quote Tony said years ago: where focus goes, energy flows. And he repeated it again and again until he felt something shift inside him, until he felt his energy rise, until he felt his identity change. He walked into work not as the same man but as a new version of himself. He spoke differently, he moved differently, he looked people in the eyes, he took initiative, he acted instead of waiting, he created instead of reacting, he dared instead of hiding, and people felt the difference. Energy is contagious, and when you shift your energy, the world shifts with you. But the real test came weeks later, when life hit him with something he did not expect: challenges, losses, setbacks, disappointments, moments that would have broken the old version of him, moments that would have made him quit. But he remembered another Tony Robbins quote: it is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. So he made a decision, he decided not to quit, he decided not to shrink, he decided not to go back to the story that once kept him small. He decided to grow, he decided to rise, he decided to become the man he always knew he could be. He started waking up early, exercising, reading, learning, attending seminars, listening to Tony Robbins every single day, and every day he grew stronger, every day he grew smarter, every day he grew more confident, and little by little he became unstoppable. He became the kind of man who walks into a room and changes the atmosphere. He became the kind of man who takes full responsibility for his life. He became the kind of man who refuses to be controlled by fear, doubt, or insecurity. And he realized something powerful, something Tony had been saying for years: the only limit to your impact is your imagination and commitment. Months passed and the young man was no longer young in fear, he was young in courage, he was young in vision, he was young in strength. He was building his future brick by brick, step by step, belief by belief. He found himself leading others, inspiring others, motivating others, because when you transform yourself, you naturally lift the people around you. One day while walking home he stopped and looked at the life around him, the same street, the same buildings, the same world, but he was not the same. And that was the moment he understood one of Tony's greatest teachings: life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change. He looked at the sky, smiled and whispered thank you. He thanked the struggle, he thanked the pain, he thanked the obstacles, he thanked the loneliness, he thanked the old version of himself, because without all of that he would have never become the man he now was. And when people asked him what changed, he always said a simple sentence that carried the truth of his entire journey: I changed my story. Because when you change your story, you change your life. When you change your focus, you change your future. When you change your beliefs, you change your destiny. And now he lived with a fire inside him, a fire that never dimmed, a fire that never faded, a fire that reminded him every day that he was made for greatness, that he was made for impact, that he was made for more. He became a mentor, a leader, an example, and whenever someone approached him with fear or doubt, he would smile and say the quote that started everything: "The only thing that is keeping you from getting what you want is the story you keep telling yourself." And he would look at them with conviction and add, "Change your story and your life will never be the same again." That is the power of belief, the power of decision, the power of action, the power of the human spirit, the power. Tony Robbins has been teaching millions across the USA and the world for decades, and this young man was no longer just another lost soul. He was a warrior, he was a creator, he was a force, because he decided to rise, because he decided to take control, because he decided to become unstoppable. And so can you. Your story is not written, your future is not fixed, your destiny is not locked. Your life can change the moment you choose to change, the moment you choose to rise, the moment you choose to believe in your own power. Stand up, breathe deeply, and say with every cell in your body, "I am ready," because your new story, your new life, your new chapter starts the moment you decide.